This is TWiT.
So in 1964 at the World's Fair, which I remember very well, I was, I think, 6 or 7. No, I was 8 years old. And I remember AT&T had the picture phone. You know, someday, by the year 1970, you will be talking on picture phones. They asked Isaac Asimov what the world would look like in 50 years. He wrote in the New York Times that by now, 2014, gadgetry will continue to relieve mankind of tedious jobs. Kitchen units will be devised that prepare auto meals, heating water and converting it to coffee, toasting bread, frying, poaching, or scrambling eggs, grilling bacon, and so on. Breakfast will be ordered the night before to be ready by a specified hour the next morning.
Did they not have toasters back then?
Didn't happen. But now this one did. Communications will become sight sound. You will see, as well as hear, the person you telephone. The screen can not only be used to see the people you call, but also for studying documents and photographs and reading passages from books. Synchronous satellites hovering in space will make it possible for you to direct dial any spot on the Earth, including weather stations in Antarctica. Undersea cables, but same thing. Men will continue to withdraw from nature in order to create an environment that will suit them better. By 2014, electroluminescent panels will be in common use. Ceilings and walls will glow softly and in a variety of colors that will change at the touch of a button. Robots will be neither common nor very good in 2014, but they will be in existence. That's right.
I think that might be my favorite of his predictions, in that it was accurate in that the way it constrained itself, that it didn't make a blanket like, we'll all have magic robots doing everything. The fact that he specifically said, we will see the rudiments by this point.
Right. The appliances of 2014 will have no electric cords, of course, for they will be powered by long-lived batteries running on radioisotopes. Highways will have passed their peak by 2014, and there'll be increased emphasis on transportation that makes the least possible contact with surface. Even ground travel will increasingly take to the air a foot or two off the ground. All right, you can see how hard it is to figure the future. He did nail one thing. The world population will be 6.5 billion. The population of the U.S. will be 350 million.
Almost on the nose.
Yeah. I guess you could kind of predict that. It's a pretty consistent
linear growth.
Yeah.
No, well, I would actually say not, because one of the biggest stories of the last 10 years has been the popular prediction in the 1960s. If you read Population Bomb or whatever, it was like, we're all screwed. There's going to be 13 million and we're all going to die. But for him to predict essentially the leveling off of populations, specifically both in the United States and worldwide, I think was a really good one.
I wish these guys, Arthur C. Clarke did the same, and Walter Cronkite. I wish you could get Arthur C. Clarke and Isaac Asimov at today's CES and just hear what they think. Hey,
I got a question for you.
Yes.
Hey, hold on, but before we wrap up here, because I've been thinking about I don't know, new year, we're all getting older, whatever, closer to
death,
dying and becoming death.
Yep.
Death.
Yep.
I said death. Here's what is exciting about in all of human history, the fact that we live in this generation. One thing that sticks with me is, if I could trade right now, just going back 20 years, would you trade your degraded sense of health, but in exchange have to give up the technology that we've seen for any amount of time? Like, would you be 20 years younger, but give up your the last 20 years of advancement in technology?
Nope.
Yep.
I mean, and the reverse of that is, how excited am I to become 60 and then 80 years old, knowing that concurrent with that, I'll get all the complete dope-ass advancements that we're going to get.
I'm going to be 60 in 3 years, Brian. It's no fun at all.
Dude, okay, now would you trade? I mean, let's say, and this is serious. Would you go back to, so what, you're 57, so would you go back to 37, looking like me, but
can I look like you?
Give up. Yes, you can only look like me. That's the penalty. You would have to give up the iPhone. You'd have to give up broadband. You'd have to give up the TWiT studio. You'd have to. I mean, would you?
But didn't he actually already do that 20 years ago?
Did they have Viagra 20 years ago? I'm curious.
No, it was brand new.
Do you have to give up?
I think like 98.
How do you know that? What fun. I don't know. That's a very good question. I think as you get older, sometimes the thought of going back in time, even if you had to relive all of the technological advances of the last 20 years, one by one, I would still do it. I'd like to. I don't know, though. I love the fact that I'm living in the future. Isn't that cool? Isn't that not cool?
Get on me, man.
Yeah.
At no time in human history, in all of humanity, have we had the ability to get to know each other better as humans over time. This is the greatest time in all of history because humans are inherently social. We are inherently drawn together. And now we have the tools. We've created the tools that facilitate us getting to know each other better over time, not degrading our friendships and relationships. As we grow and mature, I now have the opportunity to know my friends and my family in ways that my ancestors never did. And that alone is worth everything.
I just hope I'd like to make it another 20 or 30 years because I'm excited about what we might see in the next 20. I think the singularity is close. I'd like to be there for that. Do you think
it's near?
Do you think we'll have it in our lifetime?
But Jaron Lanier says we don't want that, right? He has very interesting reasoning.
Yeah, Jaron's an interesting fella. I'm not sure I agree with him.
To echo what Dan and Brian were saying, and there was that one last Asimov prediction that you didn't get to, which was kind of very weird prediction that there would be this major disease of boredom.
Yeah.
And actually, I think something that he didn't foresee, which is a kind of innovative way that we've all ended up using technology and smartphones and everything, it actually has made us more human because two of the key aspects to being human are being curious and communicating with fellow humans. And all this technology basically allows our curiosity to go crazy and allows us to communicate better and in new ways than ever before. So this idea of boredom actually drives a lot of what we do and has ended up making us more human. So I'm with you guys. I think we're at the perfect time in the perfect place.